essentially, what I started out doing was dealing with small businesses with home care. But now some of them are not so small anymore.
But they think they are, and they operate.
They still have that in their head. I mean, they're still very entrepreneurial. They may have 7,000 patients, but they're still, we still communicate the same way. So communicating with physicians was very similar. It's like dealing with small businesses. Now, the one that I'm talking about that I deal with is large. I mean, they have like 100,000 visits a year. I mean, they're big, but we still communicate the same way. I could have branched out and gone with that into that area. One of the areas that I've always thought would be a big moneymaker were physician practice divorces, when two doctors are in a practice with each other and they don't suddenly hate each other, but anyway, they don't want to work together anymore. I mean, there's litigation involved with that. So lawyers make a lot of money off that. But I guess I've never really tried to get out of the home care area. But I don't think I ever really wanted to, simply because I like the people. I mean, and it goes back to that first decision I made. Do I want to work with food stamp people, or do I want to work with the nurses? And I decided to work with the nurses. And whatever there is in their makeup, whatever the practical
caregivers,
they're caregivers, but they're practical. That's the thing that I really appreciate about them most is, and maybe that's why it's easy for me to communicate with them, is they're practical. The other thing that's easy is that my time at DHS, I still use everyday things I learned there. So there are things that I know, there are things that I've forgotten how I figured it out that are useful to them. And so that's another thing that I believe that, I bring benefit to the table. And so that's another reason I've done well in the area, in the home care area, is I bring a unique benefit to the table.
Yeah.
I mean, there really aren't that many people who worked in state government and healthcare that I know of that have actually gone into private practice, lawyers that have gone into private practice and stayed with it. There are a handful, but I really don't know of anybody else who's worked in like an assistant general counsel position who handled policy, things like that, who handled such a broad area. My experience is a lot broader than most other folks, simply because I was in state office. I was in Austin, and we dealt with everything. We didn't deal with just one unique area, one section. We didn't deal with one program or one thing like that, or one particular contract or anything like that.
And that's what happens with accountants when they come out of college. Especially if they go to one of the big firms, like now it's the Big Four. When I was in school, it's the Big Eight. Like you go to one, but man, you get pigeonholed and you learn one thing. You might learn it really, really well. So my joke was always, you can get really good at counting cigarettes. Because in Oklahoma, there are a lot of Indian tribes, and they all had the cigarette shops, and the auditors had to do the audits of the cigarette shops. So that was always our joke. But yeah, you can get pigeonholed.
That is a danger. I know of. I've seen some lawyers who went into certain areas, and went into either small firm or big firm. But yeah, they got sort of stuck in one area. And I was fortunate. I got stuck in an area that I like. Mm-hmm. I like working with the people. I like what I do. I know people who got stuck in areas they didn't like. But yeah, it is. And that's one of the things that maybe that's a topic someday, is like when you feel like you're getting pigeonholed, what do you do about it? Because I've never, I tried to figure out like how to broaden my practice to other types of healthcare providers. And I figured out different ways, but I just never really pursued them. Yeah. Because my plate was always full with home care.